I've always been in awe of the beauty of saris. So colorful, so elegantly draped, the details, the material. Growing up, it was always a delight to see Amma draped in a sari. How effortlessly it enhanced her beauty, her grace. Did you know that sari, sadi, shadi, or shati all come from the same root? It simply means a strip of cloth. Yes, just a piece of fabric used to cover and drape the body. And that simple cloth has become so much more. It is now a symbol of elegance, a source of cultural pride, and a common thread that connects millions of women across the Indian subcontinent. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to All About Her. And in the first episode of season 1, we have How the Sari was born. The word sari comes from the Sanskrit word shatika, and it's mentioned in early Hindu texts as a traditional woman's attire. Originally, it wasn't one piece, but 3. Antarya, the lower garment. Utarya, a veil over the shoulder or the head. And the Stanapatta, a chest band. Over time, this 3-piece ensemble slowly came together to become a single flowing drape that we call the sari. To understand just how old the sari is, we need to go back in time, really far back, to the Indus Valley Civilization, between 2800 and 1800 BCE, where the evidence of draped garments is found in terracotta figurines. Meanwhile, the cotton civilization had already begun as early as 5000 BCE. And with that came the art of weaving light and airy fabrics. As the centuries rolled on, the sari evolved, not just in function, but in flair. By the time the Mughals had arrived between the 16th and 19th centuries, India had already embraced the sari in its everyday life. But the Mughals brought with them the love for opulence. They refined the sari with zardozi, kamdani, and all sorts of rich embroidery. The sari later became a regular and everyday wear, which was widely worn both by royalty and the common man. Textile historian Ratha Kapoor Chishti called the sari a magical unstitched garment because it's used to hide or show parts of the body depending upon how it's draped. Over time, one draping method became very famous, the Nivi drape, which became widely popular in Andhra Pradesh. In ancient times, this style, known as Nivi Bandha, meant wrapping the sari around the lower body, while the upper body was often covered with a simple piece of cloth. But here is where it truly gets fascinating. Every part of India developed its own way of wearing the sari, each one telling a story of geography, lifestyle, and identity. Let's explore some of the distinct draping styles across our country. Bengali style from West Bengal is graceful and rich in tradition. Here, there are no pleats at the waist. The sari wraps around the body, and then the pallu is brought around and draped elegantly over the shoulder. These saris usually have wide border and is made of heavy fabric. Maharashtrian Nawari style is the bold dhoti style sari. Nawari means 9 yards, yes, longer than the usual sari. It's wrapped between the legs like a dhoti, tucked at the back with the pallu thrown over the shoulder. This style doesn't need a petticoat. It's practical, powerful, and rooted in warrior culture. Famous in Tamil Nadu and especially in the Brahmin community is the Madisar style, which you must have seen draped in religious and ceremonial places. Another 9-yard marvel, draped similar to a dhoti, wrapped around the body, and the pallu is brought over the left shoulder. It is commonly worn in maroon, green, or yellow for religious symbolism. The Gujarati Seedha Pallu style comes from Gujarat and Rajasthan and is known for its vibrant and decorative embroidery. It resembles the Navy drape, but with one key difference. The pallu is brought from the back to the front over the right shoulder. Perfect for showing off the mirror work, zari, and bandhani designs. Kurgi style from Kodagu, Karnataka, is different from most Indian drapes. The sari is pleated and tucked at the back. The pallu is taken over the right arm and secured over the left shoulder. You will see it worn by the Kodava woman, especially during weddings and festivals like Uttari, the harvest festival, along with a waist belt, odianum, to hold the pleats in place. The Kumbi style in Goa was mainly originated to support physical work, worn by Kumbi tribe of women, one of the oldest tribal communities in Goa. The Kumbi style is best suited for farming and fieldwork. So it's a short cotton sari tied above the ankle with a petticoat, and the pallu is tucked over the shoulder or tied around the waist. Then we have Mekhela Chador from Assam, which is not technically a sari, but it's draped like a sari. It has two separate pieces, mekhela, a bottom wrap like a skirt, chador, upper drape worn like a pallu. They are usually made of silk, eri, or cotton. Before British rule, women wore saris without petticoats or blouses because a sari itself is enough to cover the body. But when Europeans came to India in 1800, they brought their fashion ideas with them. British women wore layers of petticoat and fitted tops. So, the upper class Indian women started adopting these styles and slowly wore the petticoat under the sari and the blouse on top. Therefore, similar to European fashion, our blouses, or you can say choli, is now fitted with buttons, hooks, darts, and curved seams. But not all sari traditions follow the same path. At that time in southern India, among certain castes and communities, it was completely normal for women to leave their upper bodies uncovered. This wasn't seen as shameful or unusual. It was simply tradition, passed down from generation to generation. But when Christian missionaries and British colonial authorities began to spread their ideas of morality and modesty, things started to change. These outsiders viewed the bare-chested look as improper, even though it had deep roots in the region's customs. Then came a turning point. In 1850, in the princely state of Travancore, that we now call as Kerala, riots broke out. Why? Because women began choosing to cover their chests. Women who decided to wear a blouse or upper garments, breaking away from century-old norms, faced backlash. Not just from colonial forces, but from their own communities, who saw the new dress as a betrayal. And yet, through all this change, resistance, and reinvention, the sari survived. Not just survived, it thrived. Today, the sari is one of the most loved garments in the Indian subcontinent. It is worn by women of all ages, cities, villages, during festivals, weddings, rituals, and even as official wear. It's not just a cloth, it's a memory, it's heritage, it's identity. A timeless symbol of self-expression wrapped in 6 or sometimes 9 yards of tradition, pride, and grace.